Good morning, everyone. This is Jayant here. So we'll be having a quick demo on what UiPath is and how it fits into robotics process automation. So I know pretty much RPA has become mainstream for last 2 years. Prior to that, a lot of people does not even know what RPA is and what exactly automation does. So we'll just have a quick view on what robotic process automation is before we proceed any further. Okay, so the people who have any audio issues, right, just have a look at your microphones or try to increase the volume. Um, I know that a couple of people have issues listening through my voice. Just recheck your headphones. The rest of all, what we'll try to discuss today is first we'll focus on what robotic process automation is, and then we'll understand how UiPath fits as an RPA tool. What kind of extra features it has compared to other RPA tools as well. So what exactly robotics process automation mean? What exactly automation means? Now keep the robotics and process words aside. What exactly automation means? Automation is nothing but an automated tasks of what you are doing something manually, right? So at certain point of time, you are doing some steps manually, and you wanted to automate that, right? The kind of scripts you write to automate that task itself is called as an automation, right? So anything which is pretty much prone to do by itself is called automation. Um, what does robotics and process means? So robotics is nothing but virtual robots that are present with your machine, which will automatically do your work. So daily you come to your office and you start filling your timesheets. Okay, so you come to you come to the office in the morning at 8 a.m. and you fill in your timesheet, and every one of your colleagues also fills their timesheet and sends them to you. Your job is to collect all those into a single Excel file and send it to your supervisor or send it to your manager. So you spend around half an hour of the time doing that work daily, right? You consolidate everyone's information into a single Excel file, and then you probably pass that as an email to your manager. Now that is a repetitive work, right? 8 o'clock daily in the morning, you're coming, you're spending half an hour of your time trying to mix all the information or accumulate all that information into a single Excel file. Now that repetitive work, what I have done is I have written a script which automatically consolidates everyone's information into a single Excel file, which automatically sends that information back to my manager. Now that script that what I have written, now that is called as an automated script, and the part that I have done to automate that, it's called automation. So I can write the script in any language. I can write in .NET, I can write in Python, I can write in Java, I can write in any language. Why does where does this UiPath fits is? UiPath is an RPA tool which will give you a kind of easiness to write that script. You do not have to know .NET for it, you do not have to know Java for it, you do not have to know Python for it. In fact, it is kind of a flowchart based application which will help you to write the script in an easy way. So whatever work you are doing, the kind of work you are doing, if you want to automate that, the kind of scripts you are writing, the UiPath help you write those scripts without having any programming knowledge, a dedicated programming language. So what are these robots? Is the scripts that are running are nothing but virtual robots. They are called bots, simply called. So in the end, what you're doing is you are creating a virtual robot or a bot to automate a manual process. So take one for example in a real-time scenario. Okay, timesheets is a small thing. I don't think there is any benefit you are getting to automate something small. Let us take on a bigger scale in real time. How does it use? So let us take one example where we usually have a real-time experience with. I know a lot of people shop online. You know, Amazon, Snapdeal, Flipkart. You know, we have a lot of sales, flash sales going on where a lot of customers shop a lot of things against this take consumers. You try to purchase something in Amazon, you added that to cart, you clicked on buy now, and then it redirected you to your bank page. You filled in your password, you clicked on submit. So when it's getting back to get that order placed, some internet connection or some, for whatever reason, the order did not get placed. The money has been debited from your account, but maybe whatever, for the technical issue, the order has not been placed. Now, being worried, what would you do? You would immediately call the customer care. Right, you will call the customer care and you would say that the money has been debited but the order has not been placed. You will give your account information, you will give the kind of product you tried to purchase, you will give the payment info, kind of payments that you have done, whether it's a debit card, whether it's a net card, credit card, net banking, Paytm, any other wallet. So you would specify what kind of transaction you try to make. And what would customer care do? They'll say you will get your refund, they'll validate and you will get your refund within next 24 hours. So after 24 hours or after certain point of time, you would see that you got your money refund. So what happened in this 24 hours? So nothing magic. There will be an employee working for that particular Amazon company who has taken up the ticket that you have raised and worked on it. All right. So what does this particular Amazon employee does? The moment you have raised a complaint, a ticket gets generated in the backend, and probably an email will be sent to their user group or service group. So one of those service group members will pick up and work on your incident, or will pick up and work on your ticket. So what does your ticket have? Your account information and your complaint information. So he will have a look at that complaint and try to understand that the order has not been placed. So first thing what he will do, he'll connect to the database. He will validate first whether your account information is correct or not, whether you are a genuine candidate or not, and then he'll check the status of that order. Second thing, whether actually the order is in failed state or whether actually it has been placed. If it is in failed, then he'll validate whether transaction information is correct or not. Where did the money get stuck? And if he sees the money has not reached the Amazon payment gateway yet, then what he would do? He would cancel and he will reinitiate the refund. Again, for initiating the refund, the procedure is different for each type. For if it's net banking, the procedure would be different. If it is a gift card, the procedure would be different. If it's a wallet, the procedure would be different. So depending upon what is the transaction type, we'll proceed further with the refund. Now, on a daily basis, how many people do you think shop in Amazon? Lakhs of customers, right? So lakh could be undermined statement. It could be more than, it could be crores throughout the India, and if you take it globally, it could be more than that. So if you take even 1% as a failure ratio, there will be at least 5,000 to 10,000 people having order placement issues per day in India, even if 1% of them are failures. So there will be 150 to 200 employees who will be working on these people, 5,000 to 10,000 people throughout the day, doing the same thing. All they do is the moment they get email, they read through the email, open the ticket information, read through the ticket information, write that into an Excel file, open database, execute some queries. Depending upon the outputs you get true or false, they proceed further with reinitiating, and they open the browser again and close the ticket. The steps they are following is pretty much the same thing. It is repetitive in nature. So is it not better, rather than hundreds of employees working on that, I write a small script which will automatically read through the emails, which will automatically understand the context of that complaint, go to the database, validate the genuinity of the customer, validate the genuinity of that order, refund the amount. A script which automatically does that. The benefit here is this script will automatically replace those 100 or 150 employees. My script runs 24/7. My employees do not run 24/7. My script runs on Christmas. My script runs on holidays as well. My script does not require salary. And my script that is running is always faster than what a human does. And that is what RPA is, and that is the reason you see automation is getting replaced with a lot of employees. There is a lot of people getting kicked out of their companies as well. So this is a robotics process automation where you are using scripts to automate. Irrespective of what tool you are using, be it Automation Anywhere, be it Blue Prism, be it UiPath, or be it any native .NET language, Python, anything it is. As long as you are writing something to automate a manual task, that comes under robotics process automation. So these tools, whatever we are talking about, kind of gives the ease of access to write the code, but nevertheless, the script you are writing is the one that matters. Let us jump into the tool. First, let us have a quick look at how the tool looks like, and we will also discuss on a high level how different this tool is from other tools. So, unlike the Automation Anywhere in Blue Prism, UiPath has a community edition for the benefit of developers to start and to download and start practicing on it freely. The community version will be available on uipath.com, where you can download that by registering with your email ID. The moment you have downloaded it and installed it, you will be able to use it freely indefinitely. There is no certain trial period like 1 month, 2 months. Obviously, you have to keep renewing it every 1 month by just again clicking on that I accept button. Other than that, it is pretty much free. So all you have to do is continue free. There is no patch, there is no crack needed. The UiPath itself is providing you for the developers that kind of functionality where you can freely use it for non-commercial purposes. Okay, so let us dive into the tool. I'm creating a blank project for now. I'll just call this as demo. Alright guys, this is how the UiPath tool looks like. So this is called as workspace, where you actually write your code, and these are the set of actions that you have which should help you to write that code. When you say write your code, you don't actually write the code, you'd rather drag and drop. The code is already predefined as a set of actions to your left side, and the action properties will be visible to your right side. Okay, there are two ways to write your code. See, before UiPath, if I say, has recently entered the market. When I say recently, about 2.5 years back, but Automation Anywhere and Blue Prism have been in RPA for more than 5 to 6 years, and they are the first tools that entered into the RPA market. So the problem with those two tools here, the two tools that are, they two are entirely different. The Blue Prism kind of looks like a flowchart designed code, and the Automation Anywhere actually looks like a lines of code. They, even though both does the same set of actions, the way you write the code in both are entirely different. And when people are migrating from that to UiPath has become famous eventually when it has got released because of the features it provides. The problem here is the people who are migrating from Automation Anywhere to UiPath, or the people who are migrating from Blue Prism to UiPath, have two different set of writing ways to write the code. And UiPath wanted to adopt to both the options. So what it has done is, it has given two ways to write your code. You can write the code either in a sequential manner, or you can write it in a flowchart manner. So we'll write it in both ways and try to identify what is the difference between these two, and you can try to decide yourself which is the comfortable way for you to write. Pretty much there is no different. The kind of way you're writing the code is the same, but the UI looks different. After you're writing, how the code would show will be different in both the places. So let us start with sequence. The sequence code kind of looks like your Automation Anywhere code. So people who are already into Automation Anywhere, you actually can find some kind of familiarity here. So let me just call this as q1. So you either can write it in your sequence mode or you can write it in your flowchart mode. So we'll write it in both approaches and you can try to decide for yourself which is comfortable for you. So we'll start with something small. We are trying to learn a new programming language, obviously. So we'll start with something small. We'll try to add two numbers. Okay, from any programming language perspective, how do you add two numbers? You create two variables, A and B. You assign the data types to it, be it no string or it's a boolean or it's an int, whatever it is, and you perform an arithmetic operation on those two variables. The output you get will be stored in a third variable that you create. Right? That's how you write that in any other in a generic any programming language. The same thing you'll be doing here as well. You need to create two variables. So if you look at down here, when you check this, you have an option to create the variables. So you have an option now, create variable. Click on that. I'll give that variable name as x. What is my variable's data type? I'm trying to add numbers, so obviously it's not a string. String means text, boolean means true or false flag. So I need to choose int32. Similarly, I create another variable y. Int32 is my data type. Similarly, I create third variable where I need to store the result z, and the variable type again is int32. So I'll populate my x and y values. I want my z value to be calculated arithmetically and then be stored in that with UiPath. So let me start filling my x and y values. I'll give my x value as 22. I'll give my value as probably minus 7. Okay. I want my z value to get calculated automatically, so I'm not filling it there. So how do I perform an arithmetic operation is using assign option. Assign option performs calculations, and after performing the calculations it also assigns that value to a different variable or to a certain variable. Okay, to which variable I want to assign the value to z variable. So z is equal to x plus y. That is my expression. So let us run this. The moment you click on the run, the UiPath minimizes itself and executes that. But you are not able to see that value anywhere because you are not writing that z value somewhere to actually see the output. You have two ways to see the value. Either you can write that line into a log file or you can throw a pop-up or an alert to see what is the value. So first we'll try to throw an alert. I can use a message box to throw a pop-up with the result I want to see. I want to throw a pop-up of the z value. Okay, I want to see that z value in a message box to see the what is the value of the z. The problem is z is an integer. In message boxes I can only throw string values. So I need to convert that numerical value into a string. So how can I convert? Using .toString. People who are familiar with .NET would know toString will implicitly convert that int32 to a string data type. So if I execute it now, it adds that value and throws that value as minus 11. 22 minus 33 is minus 11. So you can see it has added the x and y values and it threw the value into a message box. What else I want to do is I want to see whether this z value is positive or negative. If the z value is positive, I want to multiply it with 2. If the z value is negative, I want to multiply it with 4. Okay, so in any programming language, to check a condition, we use if else statement. If z is equal to, if z greater than or equal to 0, then z is equal to z into 2. If z less than 0, z is equal to z into 4. This is the kind of program we would write. So here also in UiPath we have if else conditions. To your left side, if you see, so these are the list of actions you have. You have around 300 plus actions. You do not have to learn all of them. So throughout the practice, you get familiar to all these actions one after another. The one I want to use is if else. So if you type if, all the if related actions will be popped up. All you have to do is drag and drop that if onto your workspace again. I need to write my condition here, and if the condition becomes true, what should be done should be written here. If the condition is false, what else should be done should be written here. My condition is z greater than 0. If z is greater than or equal to 0, then I want to multiply z with 2. Again, I am trying to multiply z with 2, so I need to use the assign action itself. So drag and drop that assign action onto your workspace. If z greater than or equal to 0, then z is equal to z into 2. Else, I want to multiply it with 4. So z is equal to z into 4. Finally, again, use message box to throw the z value onto a pop-up. So you convert that z into string. See, there are two ways to execute. If you go into the execute tab in the top, we have run and we have debug. Run will minimize the blue UiPath and executes onto your desktop. You can see here minus 44 because it multiplied with 4. Debug will automatically execute on your code itself. So like you are running in debug mode. Okay, so let me change the x and y values to test the other option. What I'll do is I'll give 15 so that the outcome will be positive, and let us see if it is getting multiplied by 2 or not. So if I execute in debug mode, it will execute 22 plus 15 is 37, 37 2s are 74. It got executed as expected. Next, what I would like to do is I want to write the values every time I'm executing it. I want to define my x and y values as runtime variables every time I'm executing it. I do not want to give them as default values below. Every time I'm executing it, I want my UiPath to ask me what the x and y values are, and I need to feed those values into UiPath, and later that only it should execute. So what I can do is to prompt the user to feed the value. We have input dialogues. Input dialogues will throw a text box to the user where the user has to feed in the value, and the fed value will be stored in the variables you want to store them. So you use input dialog to type the value every time you are performing. So the text I want to, so just please enter a number. The label is what should be shown there. value of x. And the result, you can see the action properties I said define will be present onto your right. Your left will have a panel which contains a list of actions. Your right will have the properties of the action that you have selected. The result should be stored in X data item. Similarly, another input dialog. Again, throughout the practice, you will get to know what are the actions present here, but you can see that you are not actually writing any code. Rather, mostly you are dragging and dropping. Please enter another number. This will be value of y. The result should be stored in y data item. Now if you execute it, it will prompt me to write the number. Please enter number value of x. I'll give a number as 55. Press OK. Please enter value of y. I'll give 10. So 66 twos, 65 twos is 130. So every time I'm executing it, it will ask me for the numbers. So I'll give this time 500 and 1500. So 4000, 2002s. Okay, so it is prompting me with the input dialog. This is how I can interact with the UiPath even when the code is executing, the form of an input dialog. So for anyone has any questions before any proceed further?
Jay, one question is like these activities drag and drop, right? It's a bit confusing actually. So, so in which place we need to drag and drop? So there is some down arrow, right?
This no see the moment you drag and drop, right, you can actually see a line getting generated. Can you see? So it indirectly specifies, okay, it comes here. If I push my mouse here, it comes to here. It kind of specifies where it wants to come to. You can see there is a gray line that's forming. That means when I drag and drop, it will come there. Got it? It kind of gives you this intelligence way of specifying where the action would appear. Okay. The moment you keep dragging your mouse around. So okay, again, so see, now you are seeing it in, you are just having a look and feel. The moment you start using your hand, then you will feel more comfortable way. Okay, seeing is one thing and practicing is another.
Okay.
Any other questions?
And one more question. I think there might be many like activities, right? How can we know about all these things? Is there any book or something like
You can see
UiPath help?
so the correct approach is not to learn these activities. The best part here is each and every action will specify what it is doing. So you can looking at it and you can understand. Message box will throw a message, select file will select the file, select folder will select a particular folder. Okay, what you need to learn is what UiPath can do and cannot do. So if you understand what UiPath can do, you will be able, then you will know whether that action is present or not. So what UiPath can do, we'll talk about it. So it can do file related actions, folder related actions, database related actions, Excel related actions. We'll talk about what it can, it cannot do. So once you know that, let us say that I know that it can do Excel related actions. I want to perform something on Excel. All I have to do is type Excel here. All the Excel related actions will be populated. You can observe here. Delete the column, filter table, insert column, sort table, append the range, close workbook, open workbook, read cell, all the Excel related actions. So I know that Excel it can perform, so I have written Excel. Similarly, I know that it performs database related actions. So the moment I type database here, all the database related actions will be occurring. Connect, disconnect, execute non-query, execute query. You can understand what it does. What connect does? It connects to a database. What disconnect does? It disconnects from the database. Okay. So figuratively speaking, it has 300 plus actions. Obviously, we cannot learn all of them. In fact, we cannot learn any of them. The only way is to understand what it can do. That way you can actually search through that. And this is dynamic. What does it mean is the UiPath keeps on adding more and more. The moment when I first time installed it, these are not available. The app scripting, the orchestrator, and all. It kept on adding more and more as the people started using it, and the vivid kind of applications, the various kind of applications we have in our real time. Clear? We have
Yeah.
SAP, so we have different various type of applications here. So according to that, it kept on adding more and more browser related, PDF related, SAP related, Windows, Citrix. So it keeps on adding more and more. So do not try to by heart these actions. You start learning the other around. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, John. This is Avinash.
Sure. Tell me.
So the only way to learn the application is by, I mean, if someone gives us a problem, depending upon the approach, we need to search within the application. Is that the approach then you're trying to?
Exactly. So someone has given a problem. Hey, I have these Excel files. I want you to consolidate and send email. Now you understand. Okay, I have to write with Excel. I have to send an email. So these are the two different set of operations I need to perform. So you type Excel. First, try to come up with a workflow. He's telling you to consolidate some of Excel applications. So write that in steps. What do you mean by console? Combining multiple Excel files. So what are the steps you need to follow? Launch first Excel, launch a new Excel file, copy the data to new Excel file. Launch second Excel, copy the data to new Excel file. Launch third Excel, copy the data to new Excel file. Close all the Excel files, attach that Excel file into an email and send it. So now you list down all the actions and then use your path to perform that. First you type Excel. Your first step is to launch Excel. So you will specify the path of the first workbook.
Okay. Okay.
So something like that. Again, now you need to do mail related actions. So if the moment you type mail, all the mail actions will come, and the one you want to do is send email.
Okay.
Okay.
One question here.
Yes.
So my question is like, will this can we do a UiPath script for logging into an application and resetting an user password and send it back to user, not via email, like type or Java or something like that?
Yeah, you can do that. Anything you are doing manually can be done using UiPath, which does not require cognitive thinking.
Cognitive thinking. Okay.
I'll come to that. No, what does that cognitive thinking means? No, the steps you have specified to me is a pretty straight linear. So all you're doing is opening an application, checking if it is expired or not. If it is expired, then you are resetting the password and sending it. If it is not expired, then you are not resetting and coming out. These are the steps you want to do, right? Now it is a boolean, true or false. If it is true, do this. If it is false, do that. It is pretty much a linear way of defining. It has standard repeated set of tasks. Now, what is cognitive thinking is it does not have a human brain. Now, if I give you a sentence, I want you to identify the subject in it. It is raining outside, so Ramu is not playing. Now, who is the human in this sentence? What is the name of the human in the sentence? Ramu. Right? If I give the same sentence to UiPath and if I tell it to identify the name, it cannot. Because I can give that sentence in 100 different ways to the UiPath. I can say Ramu is not playing outside because it is raining. Okay, no one is playing outside, including Ramu, because it's raining outside. I can give 100 different ways, but a human can always identify what is the name of the person in that sentence. How do you know? You have that real-time experience because you must have heard that name somewhere, Ramu. So you know that Ramu associates with the name. Second, you know enough grammar to understand what the name is. Even if I give you a name which you do not know, feed it in a sentence, give you know enough English grammar to identify what is the name of the person, irrespective of how I give you the sentence. Now that is called cognitive thinking. You are using your real-time life experience to understand the problem. That is lacking in any RPA tool, not just in your path. That is what cognitive thinking is.
Okay.
Clear?
It will take the password to log in from Excel.
Exactly. So what you told is similar steps. We just said true or false. Log into the application, check expiry date. If expiry date is greater than equal to current date, true. You can write it in a formulatic way, expression way, right?
Okay. Okay.
That you cannot do for cognitive thinking. You cannot write. You cannot say that take first word as a name, take last word as a name, because you don't know what kind of input you are getting. Clear? The kind of steps I'll do is launch application, get the password information, get the password expiry date. If expiry date greater than or equal to current date, exit. If the expiry date is equal to or less than current date, go and reset the password, capture the new password, fill in the new password, and then send it to the end user. So these are the steps I can actually write it programmatically. Clear? Okay.
Yeah, hi Jayant.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Iqbal. Actually, what I understand, because initially I also practicing this by registering in the UiPath because my
Okay.
organization have a license that. So in trial version, many functions are not available, I think. So
See,
how
from a
to?
developer perspective, what you need to know, they are all available. See, from a commercial perspective, you need to run that in a production server. You need to assign your credentials. These kind of things will obviously be not present in your community edition. From a developer perspective, all the code actions you need are present here.
Okay.
Okay. The
So
reason why the community edition is given is because he want to attract as many developers as possible to UiPath. So a lot of people will start using it, and he will get more clients. If he intentionally removes the actions from a community edition, it's the UiPath which is going to lose. All right.
yeah, I think for orchestrator and that advanced version, those are like it's
The
not available.
orchestrator is where do you use orchestrator to deploy your code into a particular production server. Right. Your basic actions are present in the community version orchestrator, which help you to run that from your current server. As a personal learner, do you really need to deploy this into production server and keep it running throughout the day? That's a commercial purpose, right? You
Yeah.
just need to test it. From a testing perspective, they are giving you. You do not want to run that daily, right?
Okay. Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
a commercial reason that you
Okay.
do not have to do in your community edition. And it's just that the companies don't misuse the community edition. They have put certain limitations on the orchestrator. That is nothing to do with the learning or coding. Orchestrator is where you deploy the code that you have written. But from writing the code perspective, they have given all the privileges to you in the community edition itself. Clear?
Okay.
Yeah.
So actually, what key they have certain certifications. For that, I think those things are required, right?
See, UiPath does have certification. You can register in uipath.com. You have to go through a series of assessments, learning classes, and once that is done, end of the assessment, you will have an exam that you can write. It's an online certification. You can write it pretty much from anywhere. Okay. Unlike Blue Prism and Automation Anywhere, so Blue Prism you have to go to Prometric Center or a Pearson View Center and then write that exam, like how you write your traditional Microsoft certification, and same goes for application automation anywhere as well. UiPath has only one certification from a beginner level, whereas automation anywhere has 3 certifications and Blue Prism has 2 certifications for the beginner level certification.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Hello, it's more about general question. Hello.
Sure. Tell me.
So, see, some people says Blue Prism is best. Some people says UiPath is best. So, which one is best? In fact, at present market
When you
conditions.
talk about which tool is good, I look at the tool from 3 different approaches. Is it good for market purpose? Means if I learn this tool, how many clients do I have using this tool outside? That is one. See, no matter how good the tool is, if it is not getting used outside, there is no value to it. Right. Second is from functionality perspective, how good is the tool is? What kind of features it provides? Third is how good the tool is to learn. When you talk about this three, so let us slash one after another. First is how good the tool is from a market perspective. If I learn this tool compared to other two tools, how much market do I have? How many opportunities will I get in? Will I have to get into a job? It's simple math, right? If the tool is used more, then I'll have more opportunity. If a tool is used less, I'll have less opportunity, right? So if I take 100 companies outside using RPA tools, I would say 55 tools are using Blue Prism. 55 companies are using Blue Prism and Automation Anywhere. Around 35 companies use UiPath, and rest of the 15-20 use Nice or Win Automation, other third-party tools. So I would say Blue Prism has a slighter advantage compared to Automation Anywhere and UiPath compared to the market, not higher, a slight advantage. But from a competition perspective, I would say UiPath has more advantage, because of 10 people preparing for RP, I would say 7 people are going for Blue Prism, because of the sole reason saying that there are more clients. So 55 companies, 700 out of 1000 employees are competing for Blue Prism. 35 companies, 300 out of 1000 employees are competing for UiPath. So if you are looking that way, UiPath has more advantage. So I teach both Blue Prism and UiPath. The people comparatively there will be more students for me in Blue Prism compared to UiPath. That's the sole reason is the reason, because there are couple of more calls you get for Blue Prism compared to UiPath, but still the competition is less in UiPath. Second, the features the tools provide. I can write it and tell you that UiPath has more number of features compared to Blue Prism. So one of them being the OCR. Blue Prism has only Tesseract OCR, where you have Mobi, you have Appy, and you have Tesseract 3 OCR engines in UiPath. UiPath has PDF integration. Blue does not. UiPath has Citrix automation features. UiPath has Citrix automation features. Blue Prism has only region mode. So UiPath has some extra features compared to Blue Prism. UiPath has run CLI commands as well. Blue Prism does not. And even automation does not have a couple of these features. PDF integration it has, but it has only 2 OCR engines, not 3. Why Blue Prism has more clients is because the license is expensive for UiPath. Since it provides more features, obviously it asks for more money as well. So licensing is a bit expensive. So only bigger clients go for UiPath. Mid-range and smaller clients go for Blue Prism. So if you are targeting good companies, then you can choose UiPath, because the bigger finance companies like JPMC, HSBC, all Wells Fargo, Bank of America, UST, all these people prefer UiPath over the other tools, because for the money doesn't matter. They need more applications to automate. Clear? Third,
Yeah,
learning perspective. I would say Blue Prism is a bit easier. I would say all three are pretty much easy to learn if you put your dedication, but Blue Prism is comparatively easier to other than UiPath and automation. Clear?
Yeah, great. Thank you very much for all the details.
Yeah. So any other questions?
Yeah, Jayant, one more thing, just need to check with you, like
I couldn't hear you, sorry. You stopped after
think
like.
that, yeah, I'm just saying that as a means I'm working as in a IT companies as a senior resource. So suppose I'm just moving to this, and it will be the beginning for me. So is that easy to transition? Like how can I manage that?
So roughly how many years of experience you have?
Yeah, I have around 8 years of experience.
Okay, so I have students who have 10 to 12 years of experience as well. See, when you talk about transitioning into a new skill, right? Obviously, the higher the experience you have, the more you will worry, because you will understand, okay, I have this many years of experience now, how can I transition into a different skill? When you talk about RPA, right? In RPA also we have lead roles, we have architect roles, we have senior developer, we have manager roles as well. Right.
Yeah.
What you need to do is, from an ATI perspective, obviously they won't look for a developer or senior developer, because when they talk about developers in a company, they look at people who are from 3 to 6 year ranges, developer or senior developer. When they require for positions like lead role or architect role or a solution analyst role, then they start looking at 8 years experience, because they'll have this real time experience where the 3 to 6 years experience lack. Okay, so I would prefer you to, apart from learning on UiPath, obviously they expect you to understand the RPA infrastructure also, not just the tool, how the RPA as a whole works, how does it fit into enterprise solution. Apart from that, I would prefer people, as any company I'm looking now, people are looking for agile knowledge-based people as well. So when you talk about 3 years or 6 years, they might or might not have a full knowledge on agile delivery. All right. So
Yeah.
you can have a look at the agile delivery methodology, probably get agile certified, because I have seen a lot of RPA companies with looking for 80 plus years of 8 plus years of, in fact 10 years of experience. They're giving a mandatory dot of having agile certified. So you can get agile certified. If you get that, you have a highest opportunity to get into any company, because your competition will be less. People, if 10 people are looking for RPA job, only 2 to 3 people will be 8 years experienced, and if you are agile certified, it's a huge bonus for you as well. So they will immediately pull you in, and just don't learn UiPath as a tool, because they don't expect anything technical from you. You might can know the basic actions what UiPath can does. Second thing, what I want you to recommend you to learn is, try to learn how UiPath works as an enterprise solution. What kind of infrastructure it needs, how the database integrates with the UiPath, how you will be able to deploy. So from an architect level or from an solutional level, just try to understand the tool. Okay. Again, that will be covered as part of your course as well. When you talk about, when I'm teaching UiPath, I don't just teach you how the code will be written, but how the infrastructure is present in the backend as well, how it integrates with the applications, how it stores these variables, how it deploys into machines, how the runtime resources work, how the licensing works. All that I'll be teaching you as well. That is what they expect from you.
Okay.
The architecture of the tool.
So I'm from testing background, to functional testing and database testing and web services testing. So and I have experience. Is it some this? Will I be able to manage the team?
I sorry, but I've heard only till testing, and the voice kind of broke after that. But can you just repeat that?
Yeah, I was into testing from 8+ years of. So into web services and database testing, and I have a little bit coding knowledge as well, not much, but if I learn UiPath, how it will be.
So the major benefit of why people are moving to RPA is because it does not require any programming skills. See, when any company is looking for any RPA developer, they don't look at their programming background experience. However, if you put that in your resume, that's an advantage. But they see how exposed you are. If they are interviewing a 6-year developer, they'll see how exposed you are to other applications. Or you expose, see, they will pull you in if you are a mainframe developer, they'll pull you in if you are an SAP developer, they'll pull you in if you are a tester as well. See, let us say I'm a client, I am trying to recruit some developers for my RPA project. I was working for DSM project a couple of years back for RPA, one of my first projects, where most of their applications are SAP. Manually they do. So my team constitutes of 10 RPA developers. When I say 10 RPA developers, there are actually 6 SAP developers in it, because most of the processes that we automate are on SAP based application. See, the first thing you need to know when you're automating a process is the manual process itself. So my team constitutes of 6 SAP developers, means people who are familiar with SAP application. So for the rest of the 4 RPA developers, it is easy to automate those processes. Similarly, it takes some mainframe developers as well, because some of the companies automate mainframe legacy applications as well. Okay, and some of the people even automate testing processes as well. That is where again your role will come into picture. Selenium is one of the good tools that let you automate testing processes. Even UiPath does that. So even though you have only testing based experience, it does not matter. That's the reason, no matter what role you are, you can actually easily migrate into RPA. You can say, you can actually put that out of the 8 years experience, you actually had 6 years of testing, functional testing and leading experience, and then next 2 years you have RPA experience. So that previous experience will come as an advantage to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. It all depends. See, I'm telling, to be honest, if you only put 8 years experience on testing, or if you only put 8 years experience on anything without specifying RPA, then obviously they won't recruit you. Even if you're a .NET developer, 8 years if you put .NET developer, and if you put 0 experience on RPA, they will not go and take you. There is no point of learning the tool, right? The reason why you're coming and learning online is because you wanted to get into a job in RPA, and to be frankly speaking, no company will take you no matter how good you are if you're not putting experience on it. So minimum I would recommend to you to put 2 years of RPA experience in your resume in either of the tools, so that it will be easy for you to transit into new skill.
One more thing, Jayant, like how many days or hours, like normally it will require, it's, I know it's depending upon individual contribution and skills and the effort they're doing, but
Yes.
to get a job in RPA, so means roughly how much time it will require?
See, learning the tool, I would say that I will ship that, I will classify it into two parts. First thing is learning the tool from a real-time experience perspective, learning the tool from an interview perspective.
Okay.
Okay. In interview, they don't give you the tool, they don't expect you to write the code. The major advantage you have in here is you cannot write the code. If I go to a
Yeah.
.NET interview, I might expect to get a paper and they might tell you to write the code.
Okay.
Because it's actually a formation of sentences. They cannot expect you, because you cannot draw, they cannot give you the tool and expect you to. So what they do is they mostly try to ask you questions on theoretical questions, or they ask you questions on analyzation. They'll say, I have
Okay.
this process, how do you automate it? I have this process, what is the estimate of your development? I have this, what is your solution for it? I am getting this error, what is your solution for it? My runtime resource is down, what should your solution? So it's mostly theoretical. From interview perspective, as well, if you spend around a month, 3 hours each day, it's more than enough. But you actually, if they make you sit in a computer and if I give you process and if I tell you to do, you have to do, then it takes around 2 to 3 months.
Okay.
The problem with RPA is, unlike your .NET project or unlike your Java or any other development project, you don't work as a team, you work as an individual, or at most two individuals. So if you take a
Okay.
.NET project, 6 people working on a project where they'll be working on different modules. But in
Yeah.
RPA, they assign a project to you and they'll let you to work on it alone. Or probably to two people if you're joining new. Okay,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you have to rely on your own skills to learn the tool and then probably write the code. So that is where you probably need extra experience, somewhere around extra 2 to 3 months you need to practice on. But for me to crack an interview, I think it's more a month or a month and a half it suffice to any individual. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Jayant,
Yes.
so with your course content, like a person with 2 years experience can get a job and survive in the industry.
You mean 2 years
What
work
is the level
experience?
of no, no, no. So with this, once this course is completed, can we get? I mean, can we put 2 years of experience and we can try
Yes.
for
I can guarantee you
survive
that
in the?
even if you're not practicing anything, just listening to my classes will give you almost a year of experience. I would say minimum 9 months and maximum a year of experience without even touching the tool. You're just listening to my classes. But to actually put 2 years of experience, obviously some effort should come from you as well. We need to start practicing it. I can guarantee you to get a minimum 2 years of experience if you practice along with me. If you don't practice, if you're just listening to the classes, you will get at least a year of experience worth. I cover everything that I have learned past 4 years. I cover everything that I have taught. I have been teaching in Visualpath for last 1.5 years. If you observe, we are the first ones to enter into RP Institute, and I have been there since the beginning. I changed 3 companies under RP. I'm currently working for a product-based company, a big finance company, in fact. So I'm putting out there what I have learned in my last 4 years in RPA, and that pretty much covers 100% of everything I've covered on web services. I've covered on mainframes, SAP application, Citrix-based application, REST APIs, everything I have covered on. I'll be teaching everything that I am there. So grasping is from your end.
Okay. So all the 4 years are in same UiPath, or you also worked in any other RPA tools?
So I'm teaching all three tools. I started my career with Blue Prism. I've been there 6 months in automation anywhere as well. Last 1.5 years I'm working in UiPath. So 2 years
Okay.
I have on Blue Prism, 1.5 years I have on UiPath. Somewhere in 6 months, there is a small project I worked on automation level, but mostly UiPath and Blue Prism are my forte.
Okay. So in this training, you will be teaching about like SAP automation, Citrix automation,
Exactly. So
web
if you look at
application,
my desktop,
desktop.
also have this Citrix application, SAP install application, in present. So they'll be part of the project as well. Okay.
Hi, Jay. Uh,
Okay.
So
So once this
I'm a
session is
.NET.
over, can you also please share the course content, like what and all you will be covering as part of
Yeah,
this
on
course?
first day itself, on the first day of the class itself, I'll be showing that. I was supposed to do that today itself, but with this kind of questions coming in, probably I will not have the time. I was telling right after this, I'll be telling what UiPath can do and cannot do. As part of the tool, I was planning to cover the content as well. What will be the part of your course, but I can cover that on first class. Okay.
Okay. Usually, what is the duration of this training?
It's 25 working hours.
Uh-huh.
Um,
So, do
25.
you think that you can cover all the topics in within 24 hours?
Yes, I'll be. This is my 17th class in UiPath. I have taught around 30 plus classes in Blue Prism. So I have modified my content in a way that I will be covering everything as part of the 24 hours class duration. I'll be
Okay.
covering email, SAP, mainframes, Citrix-based application, OCR, PDF integration, everything. I'll make sure that nothing is missed. Okay.
Yes, sir. We'll also be
Yeah.
covering web services, right?
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Jayant, one more last question from my end. So, will you be giving assistance in the interview as required?
Can you repeat?
Will you be like question and preparation if we come to the good something?
Your voice is breaking a lot, but let me just repeat that. What you are talking about, the assistance while preparing or assistance after joining the job?
No. While preparing, while preparing my question.
Yes, obviously. So people reach out to me in offline times as well. For a lot of questions, I usually share my WhatsApp number. So they send me screenshots of the errors they are facing while writing the code. I try to reply them at the earliest, not immediately. Probably during my office starts at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, somewhere till 8:30. I'll be blogged myself. But whenever I get to see my mobile, I immediately answer them. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay,
during the
and
session, I mean, sorry, go ahead.
I'm saying that what will be the timing of
So I have 7:30 8:30 Blue Prism class. So I think this is 8:30 to 9:30 batch. Your path.
it's morning hour you are saying?
This morning, yes.
Uh,
Evening it will be it will not be possible because my office timings are 12 to 8. So any classes I teach usually will be in the morning only mostly, or on the weekends.
okay. Will it be like a little bit earlier, like 8 to 9 or something? Because I have to go to
If
office.
I have to push this to 8 to 9, then I either have to shift that Blue Prism to 9 to 10, or I have to push that to 7 to 8. So again, if majority of people are okay with the timing, then resort to see. I don't decide on the timings. It always Visualpath does. So they come to me and they say this is the timings, and I follow that. Probably if more of you guys reach out to Visualpath, then they will change the timings accordingly to your convenient times.
Yes, Jayant, it would be better if you change to 7 o'clock or 7:30, something like that, so that we can also go to office early.
Okay, so just reach out to my Visualpath. If 5 to 6 people at a time came up with the same request, obviously they'll look at the majority, and then probably they'll make it 7 to 8, and they'll make that 8 to 9. So just because I don't decide on timings, it's always them. Okay, just reach out to them. Once this class is over.
Hi Jayant, this is Dhaval again.
Yeah.
So
Just
I'm a .NET developer. So will you be teaching anything, any functionalities related to .NET Framework as a part of the course?
Yeah, so we'll be using how to integrate with third-party DLLs like iTech Sharp. So these we can in fact write VB code as well in here. When you're trying to read with an Excel file, you just use launch Excel actions and all. You try to create instances using your .NET or your VB. So all that will be covered as part of this as well. You can
And
in
you
fact
were
write the
saying
C#
about
for VB
REST
code.
APIs. So will you be, will you be teaching stuff related to WCF or REST APIs and all?
Yes, I'll be telling you how to consume REST API or any web service, extract the
Okay.
information.
Okay.
But that
Yeah.
will be as a part of your UiPath actions itself. We don't have to. But at given point of time, I was showing how to use third-party DLLs, how to integrate with third-party DLL, and then utilize them. At that point, I'll be using obviously C# code. At some places, I'm using VB code to create pivot tables. Even there, I will be showing how to do it. Within the UiPath, you have those features where you can
Okay.
directly write the code. Okay.
Okay. Thanks you.
So RP is horizontal. There is no limit to how much you put your current skill into it. In fact, I would say that I have seen a lot of people who are writing entirely on .NET, the whole scripting, and then just using the UiPath as a scheduler. Because whatever you are familiar with, you do not have to learn the UiPath tool. If you're able to do a certain task with .NET or with the programming language, write in that, and then you can write JavaScript in UiPath. You can write PowerShell scripting. You can write VB scripting. You can write C# as well. So if you are familiar to write within that code, you can write that code and then put that in your path itself within the code stage. Okay, it has its compilers.
Instead of dragging and dropping, I write the code directly and schedule it within the UI.
Exactly. That's the people who are familiar with .NET and other programming languages directly do that. So at times when I work against a web-based application, right, I do not want to use the web actions. I rather what I do is I write that in the JavaScript, the document bed, get element bed, and all that, and then I can.
Can you?
Yes.
Okay.
Then can you teach us like creating any custom activities using .NET?
No, we cannot create custom activities. We have a custom action which let you to write some, but you cannot create a custom activity. Okay.
Okay.
That's a specialty of a Blue Prism where you can create VBOs, custom actions, and you can utilize them as part of your activities. But in UiPath, you can probably write a piece of code and then you can use that piece of code multiple times, like how you write a method and then call that as many times as possible. The same way you can do that in UiPath, but you cannot create the activity by itself as your own. Clear?
Okay. So what is the difference between activity and action?
No, sorry. See, in UiPath we call them as activities, in Blue Prism we call them as actions. So when I use those two words, you might be confused. What here we are activities, in Blue Prism we call them as actions. So just a naming difference. Both are pretty much the same.
Yeah, I know that Blue Prism.
Okay. So, okay.
Okay.
So in both the tools, like Blue Prism and UiPath, which is like more user friendly?
See, Blue Prism is easy to learn but tough to master because there are only very few actions. See, if you look at here, right, unlike UiPath, I said UiPath has 300 plus actions, but you see Blue Prism barely has 10 or 15. But each action works in 100 different ways. If I look at the action stage, right, I have 100 different ways of using this action. Whereas UiPath has 300 plus actions, but each action will have only a single different way of learning that action. So even though Blue Prism has 10 actions, learning each action will take a lot of time. UiPath, you don't have to learn the action, rather you just need to see what action is used for what. If you understand that, there is no specifically multiple ways of using action in 100 different ways. From a user-friendly perspective, I would say Blue Prism is a bit friendlier to learn. But once you master UiPath, it becomes easy for you to use that because once you are familiar with all the actions, then all you have to do is drag and drop and use that action. For example, if I take for sending an email, right, we have 10 actions for sending an email in UiPath in 10 different ways. But there is already action for send email, there is already action for get. So all I have to do is just drag and drop that, and then this one action will suffice for me to send an email. But in Blue Prism, I have to connect. I have to use 4 different actions to just perform the send email action. So each and every action has been specifically designed in UiPath. Blue Prism, I have to use combinations of 10 to 15 different things to perform a single action. So one is easy to learn, the other is easy to master. Clear? Yeah.
Okay.
But see, if taking me as an example, I have Blue Prism 2 years experience. I have 1.5 year experience in UI. Personally, I like Blue Prism rather than UiPath. The reason because I started my career with Blue Prism.
Okay.
Okay, so obviously I give my favor to it, but doesn't mean that I don't like UiPath. I like UiPath as well, but it's just that my career started with that. I feel myself more familiar with that. If you start your career with UiPath, probably you will start relating yourself to UiPath more.
Mm-hmm.
Clear?
Yeah. Because why I'm just asking that, I'm just relating that which is more like easy to like
User
master.
friendly from my perspective, I feel Blue Prism is user friendly, but I have seen a lot of my colleagues who are saying that for them UiPath is for them easier because they started with that. So whatever learning your first tool, right, you always give your most attention. The second and third
Mm-hmm.
tools, you just go with the flow. Because you already learned one tool, it is easy to learn the other tools because 70% is the same other. You won't give that much attention to your second and third. Your
Okay.
first language will always be your mother language and that will be your favorite language because you are more accustomed to it. No matter how many languages you learn in the middle, you still feel them a bit inferior. So English you have been speaking for a while, but Telugu is your mother language. That's your first language, right? So you relate
Mm-hmm.
yourself more to that. Clear? Something like that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So what is the native database that UiPath is using?
No, it's built on .NET architecture, so you need to install SQL Server as well. So that is where
Mhm.
there is a UiPath service that's running SQL Server instance, and that's where it kind of connects with. The same goes with Blue Prism as well.
Okay. So will you be teaching us like connecting to any other database like Oracle or something?
Yes. The LB. So as part of your process, there is a place where there is a steps where you are actually connecting database and doing something. We are even using Excel as OLEDB. You can we'll perform select queries against an Excel file, try to read it more robust way as well. Even that will be covered.
Okay.
And what will be the total duration?
It's 1 month, Monday to Saturday, 25 hours.
Okay.
How
It's
many days every
roughly
class?
20 days around.
Huh?
I'm saying
Can you
that
repeat?
it's roughly 20 days around.
25 days.
25 days. Okay.
It's Monday to Saturday. Every I think it's 8 to 9 or 7 to 8, depending upon how Visualpath decides.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any workshops on weekends or something?
No, but I can extend to 2 to 3 hours if on weekends if you guys need for practice sessions. I can keep.
Okay. So I have one question here. Actually, you are telling that you can cover all the topics within 25 days, 24 hours. But last year I had taken Blue Prism training, but some other institute. So it took around 35 to 40 hours.
See, it depends from individual to individual how they teach. I directly jump into the core part. I don't just myself lather around initial basics. I said, right, I'll give as much as I can in 25 hours. It's from your end to grasp that.
But is it like as a beginner we can like means got into that space like that we can from understand all these things.
Obviously, I'll be covering all three intermediate, beginner, and then experienced level as well. So you see me starting from
Okay.
my beginner level through initial start of the course, and slowly
Okay.
I'll start picking my space up.
Yeah, because this is completely new and do even
Exactly.
zero idea
Starting it is a
about
new
this.
environment for everyone, so I don't want them to get confused. See, in starting itself, I'm going at the fast pace, then it will be tough for you to grasp, and then you kind of lose the track. So I slowly start increasing the pace, so you will be from your end as well. You will be grasping me eventually.
So
Okay.
will these be sessions recorded or it is only
The,
for
see, to help you, what they do is they record the sessions and they share the videos to you as well. So let us say that at some point of time you have not come or you lost track, immediately you can rewatch that video and try to understand.
okay, fine.
So every day they record these sessions and they share you the next day itself.
Okay.
Yeah. And people usually complain I talk a bit fast. So I have seen a lot of people in fact slowing the video down and then watching it as well. All right, guys. Then
Even I'm feeling the same. You are going very bit. I mean, very fast. It seems. So since it's a first time, right? So it will be taking some much time to understand the things.
some time for that. So I know there are a lot of students in the start of the class, first week of the class also told me to slow down. I tried myself to slow down, but subconsciously I go back to my original speed, even if I
Okay.
slow down. But then again, it will just take a day or two to adjust yourself. So after that, you will feel comfortable.
Okay. So sharing the recording session in the sense like how you are sharing the recording session. You'll be sharing
Video,
through Google
share
Drive.
the video file over the Gmail. You give your
Okay.
image to them, right? Daily, end of the day, they send you the video to yourself. Daily, they do that. So I have seen 1 or 2 days, the students themselves asked, today we didn't get the video. So immediately that day, they get yesterday's and today's video in case they miss 1 or 2 days. Usually, what happens is Friday, they'll be in that, lazy day, and then might 1 or 2 days they forget, but immediately next day, they send both the videos. Daily, they ensure that they send at the end of the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one more thing, will you show us like how to install this UiPath
Yeah,
in the
that
session?
I obviously I will be covering that as well. So first, second or third class only I'll be showing you what are the prerequisites for installation and how you need to get that installed. It's not a simple setup. For example, see for installing UiPath Studio, it's fine. For orchestrator, you need to set up the robot and you need to connect it. So that obviously I'll be sharing that as well. So apart from UiPath Studio, we also have UiPath Robot and UiPath Orchestrator. I wanted to cover that as well, but I see that a couple of people already left because I think it's 8:30, 9:30. But people who are already there, I can tell you. So UiPath Studio is where you actually write your code. UiPath Orchestrator is where you schedule that code into different servers. You kind of manage. It's like a control room. You're orchestrating these codes that you have written, these bots. When you say the bot, right, it's nothing but the code you have written. So multiple people will be automating multiple processes, right? So each of that is called as a bot. Each script is called as a bot. So the orchestrator kind of orchestrates or controls these bots to run. So see, in any company you have multiple machines running, right? I have 100 production servers or 100 runtime servers. I have written a script. So what orchestrator can do is you can tell this script to be run in any of these machines, free machines, and the task will get completed. So we have three components high level. So we have in fact five components. Any RPA tool we take, right, you actually have five components. One is the client. Client in Blue Prism it's called client automation, where it's called studio, and UiPath it's called studio. But it's nothing but where you write your code, a developer environment or developer space where you can write the code. The second is the control room. In Blue Prism it's called control room. In automation where it's called control room. In UiPath it's called orchestrator. That is where you schedule these scripts that you have written. You look at the sessions whether they have executed successfully or not. You look at these logs. All that is done at the control room or orchestrator level. This is like a monitoring area. And you have a release manager. That is where you export or import the scripts from one machine to another machine. You know, you can export that as a package. You can export that as an, for some tools you have an option to export that as a exe, executable file as well. So that is what a release manager is. You can even have the versions of it. Okay, like you can even export that into SVN or a Bitbucket as well. You can have version control over it as well. So release manager, you can integrate this with your Bitbucket. You can even use Jenkins or Jules to auto deploy this as well. As part, people who are already familiar with DevOps probably might already be aware of this. Our company, now we just started doing that, integrating Jules and Bitbucket to our RPA processes, auto deployment. Again, if you're not familiar with it, that's fine. Next, you have administrative area. In UiPath, it's present within orchestrator itself. In Blue Prism, it's a separate system manager. And in automation area, it's a part of control room itself. An administrative area where you can control the user roles for your developers, the accesses, where you can store your credentials. All that is part of your administrative area. Fifth is your dashboard. Dashboard is for the client, where you can overall look at the statuses of their process, how much of the invoice have been processed. So it kind of has a graphical like if you look at the Blue Prism, right, you can see the dashboard present. So this is a studio tab where you write your code. This is a control room where you check your sessions, schedule your sessions, and this is a system manager where you control the user roles and all, security control, user roles and all. Same way, we have orchestrator as well. If you go to, unlike your Blue Prism, all these 5 components are present at your application itself, whereas orchestrator for UiPath, control room for automation environment, web-based. You have to actually log in to UiPath to get that. If you go to demo dot, for commutation, it's demo dot. Okay. One too many emails. Every time I create one for each class. Well, it just takes a minute for me to become a tenant.
Why do you want this user account?
Orchestrator is for the orchestrator is used for controlling your scripts, where I want to run my script from. All that will be done in your administrative area. All that is part of your orchestrator, your path orchestrator. This is where you can actually see on eye level what are the robots that come under you, what are the processors. This is where you schedule these bots as well. All this part of is done against your UiPath orchestrator. Obviously, you need to map this with the UiPath robot.
So is this like a web-based application?
It's a web-based application, yes.
Okay, this today is like a Windows application.
Client, yes. The client is where you actually write the scripts or write the code. Orchestrator is where you manage the scripts.
Okay.
Okay. See how it is done is, see you have 10 developers in your team, 10 developers will have 10 clients installed in their own respective OS, in their own respective laptops or in their servers. All the 10 of them will be integrated with a single orchestrator. All of those 10 will be connected to a single SQL server instance. And whatever machines, whatever clients are connected to a single SQL instance, will be mapped to this particular orchestrator. So it will be able to control all the 10 scripts from here itself at one single central control room. And that service which kind of helps you to connect is the UiPath robot. We'll talk about this obviously on day one. It's not easy to grasp all that, but I just give you high level info that we have UiPath robot, an orchestrator, and a client or a studio. These 3 different major components we have. We will obviously looking at a more granular level throughout our classes. Clear?
Yeah.
All right, guys, and I think for them, I
So
think yeah,
if it is
sure,
possible, can you just go through your syllabus once?
sure. I'll try to give it an high level. I cannot give in detail. So our first week we'll focus on trying to learn the tool. What are the actions we have? How exception handling is done? How credential managers are stored? Different type of variables, data types. All that will be done in your first week. Okay. How send emails will be done? How to we deal with Excel based operations? All that. Each application will be saying how UiPath will be able to handle them. PDF application, OCR, Citrix based applications, all that we'll be seeing on the first week. Second week, we'll be starting our first real-time project against an Windows based application. Here we'll be seeing dynamic attributes, how it will be done. We'll be integrating in PDF. We'll be extracting the content from a PDF, get into this Windows-based application, try to reconcile that with the Excel file. Okay, whatever outputs we are getting, we will be storing that into Excel file. And our second project will be on third week. It's against a web-based application. We'll be seeing what about Domex path, how to automate using JavaScript, not just using UiPath, what are CSS selectors, all that will be covered as part of your second project. Your fourth week will be consisted of automating against an SAP application and Citrix-based applications and different various applications as well. And we'll be covering as part of your resume preparation, and we'll be checking on SDLC, software development lifecycle as well, how it is fit. Okay.
Okay. So where is this SAP application?
First one, Windows-based application.
Windows-based application.
Yeah. But SAP is a Windows-based application, right?
Okay. Usually in Blue Prism, we'll be having like order system. The Blue Prism has given as part of training, right? Like order system and
I can take
surface
those also. See,
automation.
I have order system, surface automation training. If you want to start with small applications, that's fine. If you want to start actually with applications that are used in real time, then I am fine with that as well. It's see, even UiPath has given. I have my CRM. That's one of sample application that I have. I also have.
No. In the same way, I'm just asking.
Uniteller. See,
I'm just
usually
asking.
my classes I always cover with real-time applications. The only problem is you cannot have SAP installed in your machine. But I have small applications like Anyteller, SAP application, my CRM, which I can give you and you can practice from your end as well. If you want, I can cover those as well instead of SAP.
No, Jayant. I'm just asking like likewise Blue Prism. UiPath also provided any training applications like this?
So how we have for Blue Prism surface automation training application, we have Anyteller and my CRM given by UiPath. This is one, and this is another.
Okay.
Like how we have my order system and SAT. Similarly, these two applications are given by the UiPath. Okay.
Okay.
I'll be sharing those applications with you as well. I'll be even sharing this surface automation training and order system. Even those two will be sharing. So even though they are Blue Prism Windows-based applications, you can still automate with UiPath as well, right? So I will be sharing those two as well along with this. Clear?
Yeah.
James,
Yeah.
whatever you said about the five things, five components of UiPath, will you be telling the same things in the first class, or is this the only thing you'll be
No.
discussing?
I just gave a high level info. I said, right? In detail, I will be talking about all this in part of your class. See, whatever I specified in demo, obviously repeating classes because not all people come for demo. Some people directly come for classes.
Yeah, because I haven't been concentrating in the last 15 minutes, so.
I understand. Everything of this, whatever we have seen, in fact, from the starting, everything you put it on your first day class as well. Because a lot of new people prepare them. They'll be lost if they don't attend the demo, right?
Okay.
Everything will be repeated in the first class.
Okay. No problem, Jan. Yeah. Thank you so much. I'll
Yeah.
log off, and Monday is the next class.
Mostly it's Monday. Again, just reach out to them, Visualpath. I'm not sure like what they said or not.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
They haven't told me when the first day is. They just told me to take the demo today.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Jane. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So,
Bye.
have a great day, guys. Happy weekend.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you.